Tonight's Liberty Bowl is brought to you in part by Jitney Jungle. We do everything special, especially for you. Deposit Guarantee National Bank. Grow with us. And your Central Mississippi Chevy dealers.
The year 1962, and James Meredith attempts to enroll at the University of Mississippi. The result, an explosion of hatred and racism from a state clinging to its past. But in 1989, just 27 years later, an Ole Miss football player falls paralyzed during a game. People across the entire state and throughout the South reach out in a showing of great love. And the Rebels football team, having dedicated the season to injured teammate Chucky Mullins, responds with one of their best records in 18 years. The United States Air Force Academy's mission is to provide cadets with the knowledge, character, and motivation essential to protecting America's freedom. Those same traits help Air Force succeed in major college football. And this season, with quarterback Dee Dowis leading the way, the Falcons have one of the nation's most prolific offenses. Tonight, Ole Miss and Air Force meet in the 31st Liberty Bowl football game. A celebration of America, a celebration of freedom. Raycom Sports and Entertainment is proud to present the 1989 Liberty Bowl. Tonight's game is brought to you by Mazda. It just feels right. By Federal Express, the best way to ship it over there. By First Brands Corporation, makers of Prestone Advanced Formula Antifreeze. By IBM, working to bring you the best solution. And by Anheuser-Busch. Know when to say when. A reminder from your friends at Anheuser-Busch. A record crowd of over 60,000 filing into the Liberty Bowl Memorial Stadium here in Memphis, Tennessee, for the matchup between the Ole Miss Rebels of the Southeastern Conference and the winners of the Commander-in-Chief's Trophy, the host Air Force Falcons of the Western Athletic Conference. And we are glad you could join us for the 31st Liberty Bowl. My name is Dave Barnett. Certainly, if you like offensive football, we think you're in the right place. If you like halftime pageantry, you know all about that if you've ever seen the Liberty Bowl. And as we bring in my broadcast partner, Dave Rowe, there is the added aspect of the inspiration provided by the Chucky Mullins presence tonight.
Well, it certainly does. He's here at the ball game. They're all excited. I know for Coach Billy Brewer, it had to be a tough time because, number one, he wanted his team to rally around Chucky Mullins, but he also had to keep them prepared to play football, and he's done an excellent job.
Well, on the field, a balanced attack. John Darnell is the best quarterback in a single season they've ever had passing the ball. A great list of receivers led by number one, Willie Green.
Well, he is a good quarterback. He has great statistics, 56% completions, 2,300 yards, but probably his strongest point is his ability to call audibles at the line and get him out of bad plays. Willie Green, he has 41 receptions at a 20-yard average, so that shows he can get the ball downfield.
And then, of course, the wishbone of Air Force, one of the most prolific running attacks in the NCAA this year. And if you know anything at all about Air Force, you think Dee Dowis.
Well, that's the one name that jumps out all the time at you. And it's his name, not his size, because he is a small person, but boy, he plays with a huge ability. 67 completions, 172 runs, but what's so impressive is his 7.5-yard average per carry. That's amazing.
So he will try to go out on a winning note in his final game before he becomes a second lieutenant in the Air Force. We look for a great offensive show. We are very glad you're with us, and we will return for more from Memphis in a moment. Back here in Memphis, Liberty Bowl Memorial Stadium, Dave Barnett and Dave Rowe, as we await the start of the matchup between the Ole Miss Rebels and the Air Force Falcons. And the first of a long list of very entertaining pageantry-type aspects of this game is the national anthem. Let's go to the field. Sports and Entertainment Network. The 31st Liberty Bowl. Dave Rowe scouting report. What do you see, first of all, as we look at Ole Miss tonight?
Well, for Ole Miss, first of all, they've got a good passing quarterback. He's a very, very heady quarterback back there. They have outstanding speed at the wideouts and wide receivers. The real negatives are the weak kicking game. They just have not had a good season kicking, and they have trouble stopping the run. They've had over 200 yards per game average against them. Those are two big things that they have got to work on. For Air Force, I think it goes without saying that they have a great passing and rushing quarterback. They don't commit turnovers. That's amazing, especially with the wishbone. They have a good kicking game, and if they have any one problem that stands out, it's the weak pass defense in the secondary, where they play a lot of zone coverage to cover up for a little bit of inadequacies in the man-to-man coverage. That's what I think that Ole Miss will exploit today.
And Fisher DeBerry is accustomed to this sort of postseason activity in his 6 years at Air Force, 48 and 24 after replacing Ken Hatfield out of Wofford College, and helped install the wishbone back in 1980. They went from 2 victories to 8 in a matter of 2 years.
Oh, he's an excellent coach. And there, of course, is the coach from Ole Miss. That's Billy Brewer, and he has done an outstanding job there. He's been there 7 years. You see his record 37, 37, and 6. 15 years overall. He's got a good, impressive record. He's done a nice job. Probably his best job this year, because a lot of people picked him as low as, 7th or 8th in the conference.
And as you see, they have played one previous bowl game. That was in Shreveport, 1983. And the Falcons won it 9-3. We don't expect anything remotely approaching that type of defensive struggle tonight. And we are really blessed with outstanding weather. It was below 0 a week ago at this time, and very cold. There's still ice on a lot of the water around here, and yet very temperate, 52 degrees, as we get set for kickoff. And the Falcon among thousands who have made their way from Colorado Springs, watching their 8-3-1 ball club. As we await the kickoff, Air Force will kick it away. As you look at Joe Wood, number 2, and back deep receiving. On your right, Pat Coleman, and on your left, Tyrone Ashley. They can both fly.
And look at that average. That's their average on returns, over 20 yards per return. So they do bring the ball back, and they bring it back very effectively.
Mike Donato, our referee, and by the way, the crew from the Collegiate Independent Football Officiating Association here in Memphis tonight. The Air Force Drum and Bugle Corps, as well as the Ole Miss Rebel Marching Band, ready as we are for the kickoff, the 1989 Liberty Bowl Classic from Memphis. And a high, short floater by Wood. This is Coleman from his 17-yard line. And he loves to weave. He's got some room and still going, and finally gang tackle as he got out across the 30 after a 13-yard return, and John Darnell set up at that point for the Ole Miss Rebels. Darnell, of course, the senior from Corinth, Mississippi. Best passing year he has ever had, or any Ole Miss quarterback has ever had, better than 2,000 yards this year. With him in the backfield, Baldwin and Thigpen, Coleman, Gibbia, and Green, among a lot of talented receivers. They go with split backs, and Darnell right to work through the air, and his pass is caught by Reed Hines, and he is out across the 45-yard line. Tackle made at that point by Bob Litsky, the strong quarterback, and Darnell has him rolling right off the bat. The offensive line, Struther, Lindsey, Pruitt, Brown, and Lott will do the blocking up front.
Boy, that's a good start. That's what you want to do if you're a quarterback. You want to come out there, hit that first pass, get a lot of confidence, move the ball almost to midfield. Now they're ready to go.
First down pass once again, and Darnell to that same side. And this is Willie Green, and he has more first down yardage. Out of bounds, 42-yard line. Eric Faison made the tackle as we set the Air Force defense. A 3-man front with McNellis, Kapka, and Bean. And then the 4 linebackers, Tokish, Walker, Hill, and Gladney. They have to do a lot of coverage for a secondary which allowed 230 passing yards on the average. Batance, Mathis, along with Litsky and Faison at the corners. So 2 plays, 2 first down tosses by John Darnell. And on the draw, big yardage, Randy Baldwin. He's going to be close for another first down. Give him 10 down to the 32.
And boy, when you can mix up those passes and you can mix up that offense, you can just about do anything when you complete that pass. And as we look at that, let's take a look at what Ole Miss must do. Utilize their size advantage. When they look across the line, they see 4 linebackers in the 200-pound range. Contain Rodney Lewis. That, of course, is up for their defense. And control the ball, and that's what they're doing foremost right now, controlling the ball down the field.
3 plays, 3 first downs. And on the option fake, Darnell going deep. Wants Pat Coleman and just overthrown. He had beaten his man. Risky, good 5 yards behind Coleman.
Oh, and Darnell would love to have that pass back. Darnell hustled a little bit, and he hurried his pass a little bit. He should have taken his time because he was wide open. Now watch the fake into the line. Now come out here. Now he comes back. Right now, the defensive back is beaten. Now what he wants to do is not throw like that, just kind of loft the ball up. Now watch how far the defensive back is beaten by. That's a pass that you'd love to have back if you're a quarterback.
Ashley is checked in for Baldwin on the 2nd and 10, and Darnell again into the end zone. This for Reed Hines. It is caught. Touchdown, Ole Miss.
That's a great adjustment by the quarterback. He threw a similar pass, only that time he lofted the ball and allowed his wide receiver to run under it. You could see the trajectory of the ball was much higher that time. Darnell took a little lesson on himself that time.
Extra point by Greg Hogue up and in, and that is a 7-0 lead, about as fast as you will ever see it. In 1 minute 7 seconds, and this culminates at the 2nd touchdown grab of the year by Hines. His first touchdown beat Georgia in the final 31 seconds.
And did you see how high the ball was? He allowed him to run underneath it. Right there, you see the ball coming down very, very high. Allowed him to run underneath it. The result is 7 points.
Well, what did we say about the passing ability of the Rebels and the problems in the secondary for the Falcons?
That's exactly what they exploited. That's why you coach and you teach and you scout teams to pick out the weaknesses, and obviously Ole Miss feels that they can use that speed at wide receiver against a little bit of an inadequacy in the secondary of Air Force.
On your left, Ron Gray, who led the WAC in kick returning this year. Jason Jones also back deep, and Max Smith has it from the 15 to Gray. And right up the middle for 20 to the 35, where he is stopped by Danny Boyd and D. Dowis, and the Air Force wishbone for the first time tonight. The senior from Royston, Georgia, 5'10" and 153. That is a very liberal 5'10". And with him in that wishbone backfield, Rodney Lewis, an outstanding fullback. On the left side, Greg Johnson. On the right, Chris Howard. You saw the receivers, and here are the blockers: Hollister, Bell, Walski, Wilson, and Carr. All control their game, and right to work. Dowis overthrowing his intended receiver, Steve Sand, along the sideline. Their leading receiver with 30 catches this season, and already a little scuffle after the incompletion. Kelvin Pritchett is 92 for Ole Miss, right in the middle of it, as we set the Rebel defense. And he's up front along with Tony Bennett, Jacobs, and Lester. They went from a 3-4 to a 4-3 midseason because of injuries. Here are the 3 linebackers: Cobb, Thompson, and Harris. And the secondary with Mitchell, Carter, Price, and Godwin. Darrell Woods is checked in at a wideout on 2nd and 10. Dallas on play action, forced to run. Not many do it better, and he will come very close. Now they mark him out of bounds at a cost of 42. Chased there by Sean Cobb, the inside linebacker.
Boy, you want to see what it's like to go by somebody. That's what D. Dowis did. They talk about his speed being in the 4.4 range. And watch this fake when he comes out here on the cornerback. Now, right here, he's going to be faking out, boom, and outside. Now, he steps out of bounds about a yard shy of that first down. It's going to be about 3rd down, well, about almost 2 yards shy. He's got great speed once he gets outside.
Back end is Sin, and he's wide right top of your screen. They call it 3 on 3rd down. And the give is to Greg Johnson, and the left halfback squirting out across the 45 for what would appear to be the Air Force first down, their first of the game. The Air Force must now that we should keep in mind.
Well, first of all, pressure John Darnell. They did not do that in that first series. We saw the results. Have D. Dallas make correct decisions. He is the catalyst that runs that wishbone. He has to make 3 decisions on each play, and they have to be able to stop the run. They were not able to do that on that first series either. They ran one time for at least 10 yards.
And we'll talk further about that triple option and what has to go through his mind in a matter of microseconds every time he comes to the line. This time on the option. There is the pitch. There is Johnson. And ridden out of bounds by Chris Mitchell, the strong safety.
And that's an excellent example of the decisions that he has to make. Now, the wishbone is an offense that has a lot of problems. We watch Oklahoma run it all the time. They average about 6 fumbles. This team does not. They play it with perfection, and it's mainly because D. Dallas makes those great decisions and has great peripheral vision when he comes down the line. He's just amazing. There you are. There's exactly what you have to do. You have to ride the fullback into the line. That's the first decision. Read the defensive tackle. Secondly, read the linebacker, and then third, make the pitch.
This time through the air, and he's got his tight end, 82, Trent Van Holzen, a senior from Fridley, Minnesota, former hockey player in high school. Don Price with the stop, and they will move the chains again. And Air Force not eating up the huge chunks the way the Rebels did, but nonetheless effective, and they are into Ole Miss territory at the 40.
Yeah, we'll talk more about the wishbone as we watch it progress through the evening, but it's an amazing offense. It's had great results.
This time they split the tight end Van Holzen out wide right. And Dallas looking the other way and broken up by Chauncey Godwin, intended for Sin. Godwin had a knack for big plays and especially touchdown returns when he intercepted the ball this year.
Boy, this is great man-to-man coverage by Godwin out in the flat. Look how close he was and almost came down with the interception. Well, that's when, I'll tell you, that's guts. Because you're playing that receiver one-on-one out there. You're standing out there. If he fakes you out and goes long, he's got 7 points.
Knack for big plays. He returned 158 yards against Florida. 2 interceptions in the win over Georgia. He was all SEC, so 2nd and 10 for Dallas. On the reverse, this is Dan Zroik out of the tackle, and first down yardage, and then he is belted out at the 25 by Pete Harris, the weak side linebacker.
I want to tell you, the defense played this very well. This is just unbelievable ability by Zroik. Watch this pitch when he comes back. Now, right here, he's dead, right there. You see the defensive player playing inside? He's playing outside to cover it back in, cut it back in. Gosh, that's just great athletic ability and great talent.
He was the cutback inside. He got rid of the rover, Keith Thompson, that way, and then flew out of bounds on this spectacular hit, but another Falcon first down, 26-yard line as they march.
There's an audible at the line.
First man, this is Lewis, first carry for him, and he is inside the 20, given 6 yards on first down.
Would you see how Dallas just put that ball right in the fullback's belly? You know, everyone is so concerned about Dallas on this option. They a lot of times forget about Johnson, the fullback, on that drop, and Johnson has had an excellent year. He's got great statistics, had over, I believe, 1,000 yards rushing.
Lewis, as a result, the reason that in our list of musts for Ole Miss, they figured he was a more immediate problem than even D. Dallas. They had him number 1 on their list of defensive priorities. The middle, not much this time for Lewis. Kelvin Pritchett, defensive tackle out of Atlanta, made the stop. And Dallas looking at 3rd down and 4 needed. Ball marked for DeBerry at the 20. They need the 16. Darrell Woods is checked in at a wide receiver. And very early, still over 11 and a half minutes to go first quarter, but already a critical play as they trail 7-0.
Absolutely. This is 4-down territory. They've got 2 chances to make this first down.
And Dallas badly underthrowing Van Holzen, the tight end who had split wide left that time. Not a good ball at all off the arm of Dallas. And DeBerry says, let's kick it and try and get within 4.
Well, that wasn't a good play. That's the first time we've seen him have a bad play in this game. Of course, it's still early, but that ball looked like it just slipped out of his hands and just went out in the flat. Just had no trajectory at all.
Joe Woods' numbers this year. He was perfect beyond the 40-yard line, 5 out of 5. This will be a 37-yarder. And virtually no angle. Plenty of leg, and he is good. Wood, the sophomore from Mission Viejo, California, gets the Falcons on the board. 7-3 Ole Miss early on in Memphis. Falcons moved the ball, but I would think a lot of confidence now for the Ole Miss defense after stopping them where they did.
Well, it's really important that you stop them down when they get in that 4-down territory, hold them to a field goal, but I think both teams have moved the ball very, very well in this first series.
And now it is up to the defense of the Falcons as they prepare to kick it right back to Darnell and the Rebels in a 7-3 ball game with 11:16 to play, still first period. And Joe Wood set to kick it off for Air Force.
Well, this is a big series for the Falcon defense because they lost a lot of confidence. You go by momentum, and when you have a team that drives the ball 70 yards down your throat, it's kind of tough to keep momentum going. They have got to have a good defensive stand this series.
Rebels with those great kick returners. And again, Wood floats it short and very high, and Pat Coleman from the 18-yard line again heads right, and again has a nice return to the 33, 15 yards. Carlton McDonald, number 3, made the stop for the Falcons against his opposite number. The scoring drive for Air Force, not as spectacular as that of the Rebels, and it ended with a 37-yard field goal.
But it was good control. Play's selection was good. He made a couple mistakes, but they got some points out of it, and that's very important.
Rebels with split backs for the most part, and they don't separate tailback versus fullback. They are both halfbacks. This one to Green, out of the tackle and still going and spun down at the 42-yard line by Eric Faison. That is something they have really got to worry about, what Green can do after the catch.
Oh boy, he is something. But watch how open he is on this reception. Ball's going to go to your right. This is like the quarterback looks at it. See the zone, everybody's just dropping back, and already Green had beaten the zone. He had beaten his man one-on-one. He was behind him. I'll tell you one thing, you just cannot give yardage like that and expect to come up. You've got to play a little bit tighter.
Falcon secondary really has played tight all throughout 89. And again, Darnell going for everything and just out of the reach of Green. He had his man beat, Mario Mathis.
Well, I'll tell you, speed is a killer in the secondary. Darnell's getting a lot of time back there to throw the ball also. His offensive line, those big linemen are up there just pushing everybody around, giving him nice pocket, good protection, a lot of time to pick up his receivers.
Already, Darnell 4 out of 6 to 2 incompletions, very close to becoming touchdown passes themselves, so second down and 10. This time, the jump out of the backfield to Baldwin. And they mark him out of bounds at the 31. That is good for a first down. Randy Baldwin, junior college transfer as a sophomore from Griffin, Georgia, with more than respectable numbers this year. The first 600-yard rusher since 1982. What, 51% run, 49% pass, their offensive breakdown this year.
That is tough to practice against. Fisher DeBerry said that you just don't get any tendencies when you have a team that's so evenly balanced.
Very little pressure at all on Darnell all night. That one too tall, intended at the 15 for Coleman, with Mathis nearby in the coverage. Pat Coleman, little 5'7", 170-pounder from Cleveland, Mississippi, so he's easy to overthrow.
Yeah, it's true. Darnell should have taken a little bit more time on that pass. I'll tell you, his offensive line is giving him great protection. He's just standing back there. He's playing 7-on-7 without any rush. Watch the offensive line. Look at this. Everybody's standing right there. Nobody's getting penetration. Darnell's just standing there, taking his time, picking up his wide receiver. And boy, that will kill you in a hurry. You've got to have some type of penetration.
Second team backfield in now Tyrone Ashley and Jim Earl Thomas, who is in the slot. And finally some pressure, and down goes Darnell, but also down is a flag at the 40. Sack was made by Tom Kafka, senior from Omaha.
I think those coaches up in the box heard me say that, because that time they had an all-out blitz on them. There's a face mask. They're going to go, oh boy, that hurts. Face mask against Air Force. They just get the big play. They get pressure on the quarterback for the first time, and they get a face mask penalty. This is an all-out blitz. This is an all-out blitz. You're bringing linemen. There's just not enough people. You see, there's Kafka coming up the middle. And there's the face mask. You see the left hand right on the face mask? Oh, that hurts.
Well picked up, as always, by our folks. And that will be the 5-yard mark off against the Barry's Falcon defense, as opposed to the flagrant, which you really rarely see. So they are now to the 26-yard line. And this becomes second down 5.
And watch the impact this penalty has. They were going to have them about second down and 20, 22 yards.
This time all day, Darnell intended for Green. There was contact there with Faison, and they say incidental, a no call.
And that is a good no call. The defensive back had position on him, and when he made the break, he ran into the back of the defensive back. The defensive back had good position.
And that is Faison out of Wilmington, North Carolina. All WAC as a junior, first team this year. And among their secondary, probably the best they have back there. A couple of interceptions, second on the team. Played his high school ball in Belgium, along with Mathis, their teammates. Long look, and Darnell possibly changing the play. Blitz look threatened on 3rd and 5. And they come. Got it off in time. Thomas will be short of the line needed to 21 for the first down.
And that's what Darnell does so well, is he doesn't have tremendous talent. You know, you think of the arms of like Marino and those type of quarterbacks, but he has the ability to pick up that blitz and find that open wide receiver. He has a great sense of how he's playing out there and what the play is supposed to project, and he finds the open man.
So timing is everything, because the cut has to be made at the precise instant he lets the ball fly.
Absolutely. They're going for it. Here comes Mr. Third Down, isn't it?
Fourth, and call it a long one. And their short yardage quarterback, Russ Gow, is in. Pitch bobbled a bit. Baldwin now with big room and a touchdown.
Dave, they have an amazing tradition that they started this season here, and that's that Mr. Third Down. Where they bring in a new quarterback, Russ Gow. He comes in there only for third down and short yardage, and in the last 6 games, he has been 100% effective. That's amazing. I mean, it just showed it right there, a touchdown. I don't think you get any better perfection than that.
Well, Childers to hold, the kick by Hold, good. Just snuck it in. So from 23 yards out, Chows, I think, catches the defense really unexpected here. They didn't think they'd go for it.
No, I don't think they think he was going to go for it. And I also felt that they thought they were protecting inside for the short yardage play. He was able to get outside. Baldwin goes around the outside for a complete touchdown. I think that Air Force was really protecting for that short play up the middle.
2 possessions, 2 touchdowns for the Rebels. We'll be right back after these words from your local station. This is the Raycom Sports and Entertainment Network. 14-3 Ole Miss, and the scoring drive, again, very impressive the way they got the quick chunks. 7 plays, 67 yards. Russ Shows, after giving it to Baldwin, threw a heck of a block. He really sprung him outside.
He surely did. And he's Mr. Third Down. It's hard to believe that you can be 100% effective. I mean, that's amazing.
In anything. Return out across the 30 to the 34-yard line for Air Force by Rodney Lewis off a very short kickoff. And so the Falcons in decent field position at the 34-yard line. I want to remind our viewers that this telecast is a copyrighted presentation of Raycom Sports and Entertainment. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or use of the video or audio portions of this program without this express written permission of Raycom Sports and Entertainment is forbidden. And we look at the Falcons' 1st and 10, 34-yard line. First option this time for Dallas, and that is Lewis. And so far, they have bottled him up pretty well through the middle, only 1 yard here.
Well, Mississippi's doing an interesting defensive scheme. They're bringing their defensive ends slanting down inside and letting their tackles loop outside. It's a little bit different.
It's a gamble, too.
Yeah, it really is a gamble. If that defensive end, when he comes down, if he gets blocked, boy, it opens up a hole that you're into the secondary immediately. They don't use it every time, but they've used it a lot to stop that option play.
2nd and 9 again, Lewis, and this time much better success, and he might have a first. He's near the 44, at least 8 before Don Price, the left corner, out of Jackson, Mississippi, made the tackles. First time they've ever had 2,000-yard rushers in the same season at Air Force.
A lot of people overlook Lewis because, like you say, the first thing that comes to your mind when you think Air Force is, of course, the ability and just a great running desire of D. Dallas, his size. Everybody talks about him, but I'll tell you this, Rodney Lewis and Johnson are just outstanding running backs.
Errol Woods has checked in. They bring in the plays with the wideouts, and he is wide left. Lewis, a third straight time, maybe one. He tried to crack the 45. Not sure he got there. Philip Kent from right defensive end, 84 out of Jackson, Mississippi, made the first contact. So we've already seen the all-or-nothing aspect of that. If they miss, he's gone. If not, he gets nothing.
That's exactly right. If they guess right and they bring that defensive end in down and he slants down in there, he creams the fullback. But if he gets blocked, that fullback's got a straight run to the secondary.
Give him 2, so 2nd down and 8. Ole Miss defensively last almost across the board in the SEC rankings. Dallas not quite to midfield before Pete Harris, the weak side linebacker, made the tackle.
Boy, and Air Force has had a tremendous tendency to run to their right. They're not running that option to the wide side of the field. That time they ran it again into the sideline, and it really limits the ability when you have that great speed. Surprisingly, maybe they're a stronger right-hand team than what we figured, but they've run it a lot of times to the right.
Also interesting that they go away from their best blockers on the left side. The tackle, Scott Hollister, first team All-WAC. The guard, Kevin Bell, first team last year, honorable mention this year. Dallas got 3, 3rd and 5. And delivers the first down by Van Holzen to the 38-yard line. Tackled there by Chris Mitchell. Van Holzen, their second leading receiver, 26 catches during the regular season.
And watch this fake by Dallas right here. On the hip, stop, come back. Now, he could have run for it right there, but sees his wide receiver, picks him up coming across the field. Nice first down. Good play selection.
Not many tight ends can say this, but Van Holzen holds the school record for longest average per catch. He likes to go deep, 21.1 yards for his career. An Air Force record. 1st and 10, 38 of the Rebels. Falcons trailing 14-3, and Dallas again looking, scrambling, and there is that running ability. Mitchell giving chase and Price as well, and all that for about 5 yards by Dallas.
That is amazing, 5 yards. I want to tell you, he was dead back there. As a defensive player, I can tell you exactly what he does. He fakes you and just freezes your feet solid. Now watch right here. When he turns back around, he's dead right here. Now watch the little fake and watch the defensive man just freeze solid. Boom, picks up a block, and then he's down for 5-6 yards. I'll tell you one thing, he may be small, but he's got quick feet and excellent speed.
And what was defensive coordinator Robert Henry saying? It's almost impossible for a scout quarterback to really imitate what Dallas does because of the quickness.
Exactly. They couldn't find anybody to simulate his ability in practice all week.
Greg Johnson nowhere, maybe a half yard. Pritchett, the 273-pounder at right defensive tackle, along with Doug Jacobs, 94, the left tackle out of Mocksville, North Carolina, transferred from South Carolina. Not a big Ole Miss defensive line. They average 250, but in this game, against maybe the smallest successful college program in Division I, they have across the board big advantages.
They really do. They outweigh them very significantly.
5 still needed on 3rd down. And Dallas going for Sen, and he has him. Godwin almost got the deflection. Sen got the catch and a first down at the 20.
And what Sen did that time is use his body to block off the defensive back in the coverage. When he made this little in pattern, he used his body. Now watch how quick. It's just a 2-step drop. He picks him up. Now watch Sen use his body, and the defensive back has to come around behind him to try to knock the ball down. That's just a good play. One-on-one, Sen picks up that first down.
option this time. Jason Jones, the backup fullback, trying to get the 15 before Mitchell and Jeff Carter combined for the tackle. 5 yards for Jones. Not bad on first down to send Sins in the second down play.
Number 84.
Sends it in.
Second down.
They alternate. A lot of people may think, well, with the wishbone, what does the play really matter? Because the options start after the snap.
Well, they do start after the snap. Of course, they do have passes off it. They have a lot of play action, which simulates the wishbone. They bring it back and throw the ball.
Deepest the Falcons have been as we play in the first quarter. And again, it is Jones. First down, goal to go. He is inside the 5. 12 yards on the game.
And Dave, that was an amazing play because Jones took the ball from Dallas. You watch Dallas, he almost took Dallas along with him. Watch Dallas put it right in his belly. Now right there, he has to pull it back out. You see Dallas just lean on out. Jones took that ball and just said, I'm going to take it. He saw the opening, and Dallas at the last second put it in there.
Outstanding depth at running back. They had 6 rushers who averaged at least 5.2 yards per carry, 6 who had gains of at least 23 yards during the year, and Jones among that group. First down and goal, 5-yard line. This is Greg Johnson, left halfback in the middle for 3. He got the 2-yard line.
And this is really where Dallas is most effective because he can fake that ball into the line, freeze those linebackers, and come outside with it by himself. And he's got the ability, the quickness to beat anybody one-on-one.
Berry checking the charts. Dallas, at this point in the game, not calling his own number on the option that often, but that's why he refused to take that much credit this year. He said, I just take what they give our offensive system. So far, what they've given have done to the other 3 backs. This time, Dallas with it. And on the second cut, he is in. Touchdown, Air Force.
Say the one thing I worry about all week long is the ball in the hands of the Dallas.
2 yards and the cutback to go to his right was the key. Everybody frozen at that point, and then around he went with a 4-5 speed.
He was really blocked at the point of attack. He was going to be tackled, and purely with his ability, he was able to elude the tackler, get back around, and go to the corner.
Air Force likes to go for 2, and Dallas still in there. They are 5 down. They'll try and get within 3 here. At 14-9, Dallas brings them up, and the Rebels will use a timeout, so they want to get the proper defensive alignment out there. This with 3:19 to play in the first period. 14 for the Rebels, 9 for the Falcons. We'll see if they can get to 2 points when we return. Well, going for 2, nothing new for Air Force. They were 6 of 8 in the regular year, and Dallas did 3. McDowell, the backup quarterback, 2. Lewis, Jones, and Howard also each with 1 2-point conversion. Here we go. The pitch and the throw, and it is intercepted by Jeff Carter. Ron Gray, the left halfback, recruited as a quarterback, let that one fly right to Carter in the end zone. And again, this breaks out. This is the second time.
Well, see what the reason there's a fight breaking out is that there were a couple guys got blocked, but you can run that extra point out. You can run that extra point back. That's why they had to tackle him. Perhaps we can see this. This has the look of the wishbone all the way. There's the option, come along. But right here, we're looking at a quarterback. A person who's recruited as a quarterback and has the ability to throw. He was a cornerback in high school.
Gray may replace Dallas at quarterback next year. Want to alert our affiliates, that was a make-up break, so we're now back on our routine commercial-wise. 14-9, Ole Miss. First time that Air Force has tried to throw for 2 points this year. They closed practices for about a week. That is obviously one of the new angles they came up with in preparation for the Liberty Bowl. And again, Coleman on the right, Ashley on the left, and Joe Wood ready to kick it off.
We may see an all-time record for offense. They're moving the ball with great ability.
They're really blasting this one, and it is Coleman from the 1. First return to the left, don't like it quite as well as his first two efforts. 15-yard line. One more look at a great cut by D. Dallas to score.
Well, let's watch this from high above. Now, watch Dallas fake into the line. Now, right here. Watch right there. Now, he's dead right there. Boom. Look at his athletic talent to get outside. Picks up a good block there, and he's back inside the end zone. That is just sheer athletic talent. I mean, that's just amazing. You're not able to do that. That's just not normal.
And how would you like to be the scout quarterback? Here, go imitate that. Darnell chased, got it off, and dropped by Willie Green. A very rare occurrence. Sixth in the SEC with 41 catches this year.
And that's the old look where I want to go before I catch the ball, because Willie Green has great hands and good speed across the middle. He was at least had a 5-yard cushion around him. He was just looking for how far he was going to go downfield.
This game, of course, won't count in their records. He now has 37 consecutive games with at least one reception, officially 36, for the purpose of the Ole Miss record book. Second down and 10. As we go under 3 minutes in the first quarter, Darnell again let it go just in time, and nowhere near Green. Coverage was there from Faison.
And automatically, I'll tell you, I'm looking at Air Force that time and doing a lot of stunts. They're doing a lot of automatic stunts with the tackle going out, the end looping around inside, trying to get some pressure on Darnell. They realize that they just can't match up straight one-on-one with great pass rush ability. So they use loops and what we used to call loops and twists. Loops are the ends going first and the tackle's coming around. The twist is the tackle coming first and the end looping around.
Inside receiver there to the right is Jeffrey Holder, and outside of him Coleman. Third and 10. Darnell overthrowing Baldwin, and what you're talking about now working for the Falcon defense.
Yes, they're getting much more pressure. And Billy Brewer, the head coach of this Mississippi team, knows it. They have got to give Darnell time to set up in the pocket and find his wide receivers. Now they're trying to roll out to negate that pressure, but really Air Force has changed their defensive scheme. They've made some adjustments, and now all of a sudden they're starting to get pressure, and they're going to get the ball in great field position.
And this is the first time we've seen Charles Childers on their third possession. And back deep, Bobby Thomas, 14, out of Colorado Springs, hometown product. And Childers sails a beauty. This is nose down, wobbling to the 40, and a fair catch there by Thomas. 2 minutes and 43 seconds in the period after a 41-yard effort by Childers.
Under a lot of pressure. They had 10 men up on the line of scrimmage, and they came after Childers to try to rush him. He got off an exceptional punt.
Well, that is one thing that makes them so entertaining. They don't have the size. They have to come up with other methods to be successful, and that involves a lot of gambling defensively.
Well, it certainly does, and they were effective with it. They use those loops, they use those twists to get pressure, force a punt, and as I said, they have great field position.
So Dallas first and 10, 41-yard line on his own territory. Rodney Lewis with the quick burst, not quite the 45. Here's what we're talking about now. Look at how much they give up across the board.
Well, you can see Air Force overall, the linebackers are only 211 pounds, but look at the offense against the defense. You see there's a big weight advantage there, both for Mississippi. They have, in the offense and the defense, they have just significant weight advantages, and Air Force's linebackers are 211 pounds, and I think that's dressed.
And Ole Miss isn't huge.
No.
I mean, those, especially by SEC standards, are not eye-popping numbers that they average. Only in this matchup do they seem that way. Lewis got 4, second and 6, and Dallas with a look underthrown, intended for Sin. And that is the second time that he's been well off. This ball appeared to be deflected by Chauncey Godwin. We'll see if we can pick it up here.
Yeah, perhaps we can see this. This ball just loses it right in the beginning. It may have been Godwin who touched it. The ball just was not. Yes, there it is. There's the hand out. Oh, that's just a great shot. You look like your wide receiver at home on TV.
Force, third and 6. Dallas, big trouble, not able to escape this time. Chris Mitchell on a safety blitz got him back at the original line, the 41. Creek, Alabama. Sets them up 4th down and 10. They will punt it away to Pat Coleman. And you see Eric Olson, who averaged 38 yards per kick this year. Watch out for Coleman. He was 4th in the SEC. And an average return of 10.5 during the 89 regular season.
And they're planning return all the way.
Needed a fair catch there. He is blasted. Bill Lucilius, backup running back from the 12-yard line, knocked him all the way back about 5 yards after a 46-yard kick.
Watch how long this ball hangs in the air, and look how close the defensive players are. They are right on top of great hang time. That ball had to hang over 4 seconds, enabling them to get down that far downfield.
Well, extra points for courage by Coleman over judgment in that single instance. So from the 12, where he got the reception, and then the rude reception by Lucilius. Tyrone Ashley gets the call here up near the 15-yard line. Strong inside linebacker Terry Walker, a transfer from Missouri, made the tackle.
It's interesting to watch Ole Miss come up to the line. When they get up to the line, their offensive linemen take an extra step out wide. They're trying to split the defense wide to open up those inside holes. You can see when they come up and get set, and then when they get down, they take that extra step on the running plays.
35 seconds, all that remains of the first quarter. 14-9 Rebels. Play action for Darnell. Likes to go long. First down, Willie Green out across the 25 for 12 yards. Faison made the stop here.
And this is what they've done so well. Watch right here. See how wide they are? Now watch the protection here. The breakdown at the tail end. Nice pickup there by Darnell. Green, fearless coming across the middle. Just fearless. Watch Pruitt here in the middle. Well, he's a good one. Good stance, stays low, uses those hands, pushes off. He is a good football player.
Very smart. Calls the offensive line signals. Two-time all-academic SEC selection in accounting. And Faison, slight limp, has him out with 23 seconds in the first quarter. Let's pause briefly for station identification on the Raycom Sports and Entertainment Network.
TV 40, WDBD, Jackson, Mississippi.
And in to the 41-yard line and a first down. The little guy, Holder, at 5'8", 171. Out of Bay Springs, Mississippi. 5th catch of the year. And that is the final play of the first quarter. Well, this is the type of football we expected to see. Lots of offense here in Memphis in the 31st Annual Liberty Bowl, and the Rebels with a 5-point lead at the end of one. Back in Memphis, Dave Barnett, Dave Rowe, 14-9, Ole Miss over Air Force. As we prepare to start the second quarter, let's take a look at the Federal Express first quarter stats.
There's no lack of offense, that's for sure. Look at that. Air Force would just, both of them have exceptional yardage. 161 total yards for Ole Miss. They have moved the ball very well up and down the field. Air Force has controlled the time of possession with 10 minutes, but really Ole Miss has moved the ball exceptionally well. Just exactly what we thought. We knew this would be no duplication of that early game that they two played here, the low-scoring game.
Darnell on the first down handoff. It's Thomas for 4 yards. And the tackle by Lane Bean, 81, the strong defensive tackle for Air Force. Darnell on pace for a 500-yard passing day. Think about that. And, of course, when you think of Ole Miss quarterbacks, really 2 names come to mind in their recent history. Archie Manning.
Oh, that's one I was going to guess.
Saint for so many years. And John Forcade is Saint right now.
The audible on the line. You see there Darnell turning and making the call.
Better numbers than either of those 2 outstanding Rebel quarterbacks, but he keeps it on the ground and gains maybe 3 before he's hit by the free safety Mario Mathis.
Now, if you're you're going to compare Darnell to Archie Manning and Forcade, I think you have to compare them all around. I don't think that Darnell has quite the arm that Archie Manning and Forcade have, but he's got a great sense of the game. He makes a lot of correct decisions. He gets them out of the game, out of the bad plays. He makes just excellent calls at the line. You see audibles all the time.
3 needed on 3rd down, and he is flushed out and has the first, diving to the 45 in Falcon territory. So Darnell, as you said, trying to save whatever is there when the first option breaks down for him.
Well, he doesn't force the ball where it's going to be intercepted. Now, when he sets back here, he gets good protection. Now, as linemen force the defensive lineman wide, you see him going around the outside, steps up, and look at the hole right up the middle. That's exactly the way you want your offensive lineman to block. Force those defensive linemen wide, allow them to step up.
And he got popped right in the face.
Yes, he did.
So they help him off, and we're going to see Russ Shows again. The designated short yardage quarterback in charge here. Just a freshman, a red shirt out of Senatobia, Mississippi. And the son of the co-captain of the 1968 Liberty Bowl champion Ole Miss team, Hank, who also was his high school coach. Randy Baldwin out of an ankle tackle. And inside the 40 to the 38, Brian Hill brought him down after a gain of 8.
And to show the playing time that Shows has had, I think he only has passed the ball 12 times all year because Darnell has just run this offense. So the first thing they should do is come in, let him run 2 or 3 running plays, get the butterflies, so-called butterflies, out of your stomach. Just let him relax a little bit and then take control. He's run a lot of 3rd down plays, but he has not been in there in a situation like this.
A little bit bigger than Darnell, 6'4", 195, and a flag down.
I think Adrian Struthers might have lined up off sides. That's what it looked like to me.
That will be 5 yards back for Billy Brewer.
Yeah, when he came down and put his hand down, I think he was ahead of the ball, and there's no way you can pick that hand up and get back.
Very used to bowl action. Brewer played on a couple of Sugar Bowl teams, one Gator Bowl champion, and says he is living his lifelong dream, and that was to become the head coach of Mississippi. 2nd and 7 after the mark off, and Shows to the air, fumbled away, gobbled and dropped by Baldwin, although the ball was there.
Now, I see Darnell is back up, and he's on the sideline. They may, in fact, send him back in.
And they will, and only a 2-play absence.
It's amazing. You can have the same a different quarterback run the exact same play, throw the exact same ball, and you'll drop it. And then all of a sudden you bring your first-team quarterback in, throw the exact same play, and you'll complete it. People say, I wonder why. It's just that they have so much confidence in his ability.
Timing's going to be different. Velocity may very well be different. 3rd and 7 at Darnell, again flushed. And lucky that one was not picked off by Brian Hill, intended for Jibbia, his tight end. Now here's what we've been talking about. Much improved pressure by Air Force.
Yes, they're getting up the middle. See right there, you see the rush up the middle. Now watch the other blue shirts come in here. Darnell under a lot of pressure. He goes out down that time. He got hit by Lane Bean from the side. Bean getting a lot of pressure. They're trying to flush him out and rattle him a little bit. And they've been successful in the last 2 series.
Didn't have to go to the blitz that time. That was all 3 of the down linemen putting the pressure on. Childers got a beauty off first time, and Bobby Thomas stands at his own 10. Can't kick it much better. Nose down spiral, and the Rebels are unable to down it. 3 of them around there. They could not keep it in. Lewis Gordon came close, number 42. 14-9. Early 2nd quarter. We'll be right back after these words from your local station. This is the Raycom Sports and Entertainment Network. Come on, man! Forget, we are 12 minutes, 23 seconds away from one of the all-time halftime spectaculars you're ever going to see. A 21-band salute to American patriotism, as well as a look at both the Ole Miss and the Air Force marching bands. So stick around with us.
And I will confirm this is an outstanding halftime show. I think it rivals anything.
It is too bad they limit them to 30 minutes. Now that's that from a football fan. Late pitch, 21-yard line, a pickup of 1 for Johnson. Carter with the tackle on the senior from San Antonio, Texas.
And I don't think you can play this any better than what they did. This is what Dallas sees. The fake right there. Now there he comes out here. Now watch. Look at the pursuit there by Ole Miss. Just right down the line. They just sniffed it out. You cannot play the pitch option wishbone any better than that play right there. Stop the fullback, stop the quarterback, stop the pitch man.
Dallas may be changing the play on 2nd and 9. Fullback is Lewis backing his way near the 25, but he didn't get there. Philip Kent made the first of a lot of Rebel contact there, and Lewis maybe will be given 2 here.
And what you guess there, if you're a quarterback, you're saying, hey, they just covered us as wide as you can go. Let's see what the fullback will do, blasting right up the middle. If they're starting to play the pitch wide, we're just going to take it right up the gut. But that time, again, Ole Miss playing that pitch option very, very well, using that slant by the two ends down inside. Tackles coming off inside. They're just guessing right on their defensive play.
3rd and 6, and in the passing situation, Sam at the top of your screen, wide left. Dallas looking the other way, though, and intercepted by Carter at the 43. Third of the year for the sophomore from Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Boy, and Dallas just guesses wrong on this play, or actually throws a bad ball. He's trying to lay it over top of the defensive back, and Carter goes high and comes down with it. That is a tough throw. He had to lay it over top of the defensive back and down to his wide receiver, and he just made a poor choice.
Which no doubt DeBerry is now explaining to him. Carter replaced the injured Todd Sandrone this year. Sandrone led the SEC his freshman and sophomore years in interception. And is facing major knee surgery next week. Darnell to work. Gibbia is down near the 20. 22 yards for the tight end.
Boy, I'll tell you one thing. The fake in the middle held everybody. When Darnell fakes his ball in the middle right there, you see the linebackers 2 up close right there on the 40-yard line. There's Gibbia right there going right down, waving, and he is wide open. They just guessed. He froze him with that fake, found Gibbia out there, and just hit him with a big gainer.
The token Yankee from Long Island, New York.
Now, careful now.
That's what they call it.
Their own word.
Nice move for Baldwin, and down the sideline for another touchdown.
When this play started, I didn't think it was going to make 2 yards, let alone a touchdown. Baldwin just did it on his own athletic ability. Broke a nice tackle down the sideline. I think Faison, you're going to see miss a tackle.
Second touchdown already tonight by Baldwin. And again, a rapid scoring drive by the Rebels, and Greg Hogue again on to add the extra point to make it 21-9 Rebels. Worth another look.
Well, watch Baldwin when he makes his corner cut. Now, right in here, you see there's good pursuit. There's all the blue shirts, and you see number 27. That's Eric Faison. He just misses the tackle. He just doesn't wrap him up, allows Baldwin to go down the sideline. I thought he stepped out about the around the 1-yard line. We may look at this again. See if he doesn't step out around the 1-yard line. Now watch right here. Watch his feet. See if he doesn't step out right there. I thought he stepped out there. Then I think he steps out there on the 3. Hey, wait a minute now.
He was out, but it counts. 21-9 Ole Miss, second quarter.
Well, Dave, you want to see what it's like to get away with one? Let's watch the feet of Randy Baldwin here. Now, right there, he's close to being on the line. I think he's right there. Now, the official's right in the right of your screen. Now,
See the bill of his cap right there.
I believe he steps out there. Now, watch here on about the 3-yard line. I think he steps out again. There's the official looking right at him. He just escaped with something.
He's right on it, but both times the foot went out of bounds, his head was in the process of bobbing and looking at his head instead of his feet. Nevertheless, a fine run by Baldwin and his second touchdown as the Rebels up 21-9. Again, they want to avoid the long return, and a fair catch of the kickoff by Dan Westmoreland, the backup tight end, at the 28-yard line. This scoring drive by the Rebels, again, didn't take any time at all.
Nope. 2 plays, 43 yards. The big one, of course, is the 21-yard run by Baldwin. Well, about the 18-yard run with the little extra out-of-bounds miscue.
Well, they've had 3 touchdown drives, none of which have lasted more than 2 minutes.
No, they're going to lose ball control. I mean, time of possession. They're certainly not winning that.
So Dallas down 12. And Rodney Lewis out across the 40 for a first down gain. Carter and Harris made the tackle. Rodney Lewis could have possibly thought about being an NFL guy. He turned down Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, Miami. He is from Oklahoma City. But like everybody else who's ever played football at the Air Force Academy, the NFL is not a consideration. No matter what you look at after your career, you're looking at 5 years minimum. Only one draftee ever, that is Chad Hennings. And this is Van Holzen, and another first down in the Rebel territory on the catch at the 47-yard line.
Of course, you remember Hennings won the Outland Trophy, so that showed the type of football player he was. No, I think you go to the Air Force Academy with a purpose of serving your country in the Air Force. That's why you go. You get a fantastic education. And let me tell you something. I know that you've looked at the statistics of what they have to do, what the average cadet who plays football has to do. It's amazing.
The academic load alone is a crippler, and Dallas may have lost it here. Rebels say they've got it in no uncertain terms.
Boy, I thought I saw an arm coming from Mississippi.
They were right, and it is recovered at the 48-yard line by Doug Jacobs.
Boy, you can see Fisher DeBerry is upset. They only fumbled 12 times all year.
So a rare occurrence, but an unwelcome one, as they trail by 12. Now, we mentioned from the outset the Rebels have dedicated their season, culminating in the Liberty Bowl, to Chucky Mullins. You were on the field when Darryl Stingley got the paralyzing hit in the New England-Oakland game.
Well, it's something that you just hate to see. It's something that happens in football. It's just a play. This is the play where Mullins gets hit. Of course, it causes a neck injury.
Put his head down. That caused it right there. 4 shattered vertebrae. And luckily, they were just below the first and second vertebra, which might have cost him his life.
And I want to tell you, the trainer, I understand the trainer did an outstanding job. And of course, they've collected a lot of money for Chucky to enable him to have a future. They're trying to build an endowment that will allow him to have a life-sustaining fund. And there's one of the badges that they have, Chucky Mullins, number 38. Yeah, I was on the field when Darryl Stingley got hurt, and I want to tell you, it was the saddest, most empty moment I ever had in my life. It takes all the life out of you.
Arnell chased and dropped at the 39-yard line. Pressure put on by Randall Gladney, the weak outside linebacker, first team all-WAC, and first on the Falcons with 10 sacks during the regular season. Loves to blitz. Gladney out of Marina, California, 200 pounds at linebacker.
And boy, does he have a military family, doesn't he? I think he's got every one of the academies covered, or every one of the services covered.
He's got a brother in the Army, one in the Navy, a sister in the Coast Guard, and a younger brother who figures to go Marines. Loss was at 9, second and 19. Darnell Keats to the 43, maybe 5 yards. Mathis made the tackle.
Now, one thing about this Air Force team, they've been behind before. They have not played out in front football. They are an exceptional team. They're used to being behind. They've come back. They know they can score a lot of points. I don't think 21-9 will be the final score in this football game.
I don't either, but the wishbone, not the best come from behind offense, maybe the worst.
Well, that's true if you didn't have D. Dallas at quarterback.
14 needed, third down, and caught, but not close to a first down. Coleman in the Falcon territory at the 47. He will still need 5. Coleman, the Mississippi record holder, 200 yards in a single game. That happened this year against Arkansas State. Great deep threat, but they'll have to kick it away here. Charles Childers, the punter, checking in. 7:47 in the second quarter, 21-9 Ole Miss. 7-4 during the regular season, fourth along with Florida and Georgia in the SEC. Much better than predicted. Liner, and this one behaves nicely for Childers, and straight left and out of bounds at the 12-yard line. He had 20 stopped inside the 20 and 4 touchbacks, all he allowed during the regular season. 34-yard kick here. The scoring summary on their latest connection.
Well, there's the first quarter where Ole Miss got the Darnell to Hines 32-yard pass. They made it 7-0. Then Air Force came back with a field goal, 37 yards, made it 7-3. Ole Miss came right on back with Baldwin with the outside run on that short yardage play, made it 14. Then all of a sudden back comes Air Force on Dallas's 2-yard run. And then Baldwin again, that 21-yard scamper down the sideline to bring us to 21-9.
First option, Greg Johnson, the left halfback. He slanted out across the 15 and met Pete Harris there, the weak side linebacker. Johnson is a man who, in another life, would like to come back as Eric Dickerson.
Said he fantasizes that he's Eric Dickerson.
He's about the same size, a little lighter, 6'3", 198, and growing up in San Antonio, got an eyeful of his SMU career. And not a whole lot of suspense going on in the All-American Bowl tonight. 28-7 for Spike Dykes and the surprising Texas Tech Red Raiders over Steve Spurrier and Duke, and perhaps Spurrier's last game with them. The keeper, 24-yard line and a first down. Sean Cobb, the inside linebacker, on the tackle along with Darrell Smith.
Well, let's take a look at this wishbone phase. We talked about the phases of the wishbone. Perhaps we can take it when we've got a chance here. This is the way the wishbone works. You fake it to the fullback right there. Now you pull it out. This is the second phase right here. You try to read the linebacker. You see Dallas looking at the linebacker. Now he decides the linebacker's outside. He cuts back up inside. Phase 3 is if he reads the linebacker's committed to him, he flips the ball and pitches it out. 3 different reads on that play by Dallas.
And this time out of bounds at the 29. He looked as long as he possibly could for the receiver, never broke open, and he gains 5.
You know, it's amazing. I imagine we're probably 100 yards from the field, and as you watch a football game, you run the football game in speed, and everybody's running one speed, but when you watch Dallas, even from this distance, you get the feeling that he's quicker than everybody else out there.
More so maybe than anybody I've seen.
Yeah, really do.
And at about 5'8", it's even more accentuated. The water bug tendencies out there, and make such quick decisions that if you're a big defensive tackle, you had better get him early and hard, or else he's gone. Johnson cracked down at the 33. Chris Mitchell with the big hit after a 4-yard gain.
It's kind of like being in a fight. Who would you rather be in a fight with? One big guy who's going to hit you with one shot and maybe deck you, or being with a little guy that's going to pound you to death. And that's the type of play that Dallas does. He just keeps on pounding on you, as compared to that one big slug by that fullback.
Sugar Ray Leonard or Mike Tyson.
Exactly. That's the difference.
Well, they will measure Johnson close on that second down game, but not quite enough. And so third and less than 1, 6:02 to play in the first half. And Fisher to Berry ready to send Steve Senn in. You look around Liberty Bowl Memorial Stadium, almost a sold-out house. It seats 62,000. The previous attendance mark, 54,000. And they are going to shatter it here tonight with a great draw from the Rebel fans. 20,000 at least came up from the south. Oxford, of course, just a 2.5 hour drive away, and they are here in force. Early movement by Darrell Smith, and the Falcons will get, I believe, the first down. Didn't look to be drawn off, but they'll decide here.
They were drawn off, but it was by the quarterback's voice. He changed the snap count. When he came up there, he's been going on a quick count. All of a sudden, he came in there and just went hut, emphasized that second hut, drew the defense off sides. Now watch his head right here when he makes that call. Stephen, watch there. He's hut. See, he just kind of hut. See him look around there, just emphasizing that second. You can see several of the defensive players jumped. And I can tell you that's an empty feeling when you look over at your head coach and he's over there going, boy, you just jumped offside. You're supposed to watch the ball.
Almost a penalty-free game so far. But the Falcons get the break and the first down. Dallas out of time. Looking for San open, but picked off by Godwin at the 32. San was open. Dallas underthrew it again.
Yes, he did. But it was also good coverage. Godwin playing man-on-man. Now watch the time that Dallas has out here. Now see right there when he makes his cut. Now he's open. Now watch how quickly you can see Godwin react to the ball. That closing speed. Actually, Dallas should have thrown that ball about a split second earlier.
Chauncey Godwin gives it back to the Rebels. Right back after these words from your local station. This is the Raycom Sports and Entertainment Network. Know about what went wrong there.
Well, I think they're a better team than what they played so far, and I think he's trying to motivate them and let them know that they're a better team than what they have played, especially on offense.
Randy Baldwin may be gone. Mathis giving chase. Catches up to him at the 24. 41 yards by Baldwin.
You know, what's interesting is Baldwin he was not a 100-yard rusher all year. His top effort was 95 yards. He makes a good cut, but look at the size of the hole he had to make right here. Now there he breaks the tackle. Now he comes down here. This is just a foot race. I would say that Baldwin is having his best day of the year by far.
Almost had his third touchdown of the first half. With still 5:20 to go, so the Rebels again threatening with already a 12-point advantage. This is Ed Thigpen's first time to handle it, and he spins down to the 20. Thigpen, a junior out of Drew, Mississippi, 5'11" and 225 pounds. Kafka, the nose guard on the tackle. Giveaway, takeaway story this year. Air Force now +3, -2 today. And Ole Miss +1 for the year.
Of course, that's how many times you give the ball away via interceptions and fumbles, and how many times you take it away via interceptions and fumbles.
Darnell to Holder at the 11. And another Rebel first down. Holder with his second grab. Caught only 4 all during the regular season.
Now, I remember coming into this game that Baldwin, there was a chance he might not play. He had turf toe. And they're playing on natural grass. That may make a big difference. Of course, turf toe is stubbing your toe on the artificial turf. But he's averaging 21 yards a carry. So I think, if anything, they're going to go out and stub his toes next week and the week after, and every time they play a game.
4 carries, 62 yards. And 2 scores for Baldwin. And this time, turned away after a gain of only 1. At McNellis, weak defensive tackle. On the tackle. And update for Baldwin after that 5th carry. The 41-yarder now up over 100 to 105. There is the story for him this year. Very unusual, McGee, the last running back to lead them in scoring. Overthrown, Reed Hines trying to turn the corner. Had a big pad on Litsky and Mathis. And the ball overthrown by Darnell. They'll bring up 3rd down. And still 9 needed. Darnell, 11 of 19 already in the touchdown pass. And we've still got 3:43 to play before halftime. They need the 2 for 1st and goal. All day again, and Darnell finally runs out of time and loses it, and the Falcons take it away at the 14-yard line.
I thought he was trying to pass the ball or pitch it or something. It looked like the ball just kind of squirted up on his chest. And oh boy, could this be a big turnaround. Watch the ball with Darnell. Watch what happens at the tail end of this. Now when he steps up, he's got a lot of time here. Now he starts to step up to avoid pressure. And when he does, the ball just seems to squirt up in front of his face. There it is, almost looked like a pitch. You can see quickly how quickly they just dove on the ball and come up with a big reception.
And Darnell a little bit slow getting up. 3:33 to play in the first half, and a big break for the Falcons. Well, Randall Gladney recovered the fumble by Darnell. It appeared to be his foot, the reason that he was slow getting up, and they work on it. As Air Force comes up now 1st and 10 to the 14-yard line, the first Rebel turnover of the ball game. And the ice being applied to Darnell. 3:33 to play in the first half. Dallas with that well-timed pitch to Greg Johnson with a flag down. Johnson also down at the 19, and we will see what the flag means.
Boy, what a decision again by Dallas. He had to make that one awfully quick. He had a defensive player right in his face. There's a holding call, and it's going to go against... Oh, boy, that's going to hurt Ole Miss. That went against them, I believe. Billy Brewer's not going to like that one. Unless he signaled the wrong way.
And that's what happened. That's what happened.
I believe, yeah, you see Billy Brewer there with his hands over his face saying, I don't even want to look if it's defensive holding. There he goes.
A picture of relief.
He turned around and said, thank you, Lord. I appreciate that one.
Live right and it pays off. So back to the 7 for the Air Force offense. And with the lack of success that they have had through the air, for the most part, Dallas 4 of 10 for 46 yards. With only 3:12 and counting, they're really backed up here now, 1st and 17, trailing 21-9.
Important he doesn't try to get it all back in one play. There's an audible.
Whipped it to the fullback and fooled no one, and Lewis down back inside the 5. Pritchett and Bennett, the first 2 Rebels there.
Boy, did they guess fullback on that play. They guessed it. There's Darnell. Now what they're doing is they're icing down his foot. That's the taping on his foot. You see that what they will do is they will ice it down to, it almost emphasizes it, and then you start to exercise a little bit, let them walk a little bit once you get it cold. And then they'll come back and they'll retape it a little bit tighter.
And of course they'll have all halftime, longer than usual, to work on it. 2nd and 17, no gain for Lewis.
Says he can't hear.
So an official timeout, but it's not going to get any quieter when they bring him up the second time.
See, I didn't see the official signal right away that it was too loud. That's what Dallas turned around and said, I can't hear up at the line. I can't call my audibles.
A lot of Air Force fans in that end zone, but of course they are severely outnumbered by the neighboring folks from Mississippi. Just one more problem for Fisher DeBerry to chew on. So they'll try it again. Clock stopped, of course, at 2:10 to play before the half.
And you think it'll get loud this time? Watch.
Referee told them to go back to work. And they call on Lewis, and the same result.
Now, boy, was that interesting. Dallas came away from the center. He said, I can't hear. The official pointed at him, told him, said, play ball. And he had to go back up and make the call. He wasn't able to audibilize off it. This is the play right there to the fullback, and boom, they guessed him, and they just cream him at the line. That is interesting. See, the official has the ability to say, okay, you can't hear, or you can. And that official evidently said you can hear. There's the argument back and forth. I think he's telling them, listen, it's not going to get any better.
Rebels have called their next to last time out here with 1:54 to play before halftime. Well, here's how the Falcons got to the Liberty Bowl. They came out and really grabbed headlines. Dallas with back-to-back 200-yard efforts against San Diego State and Wyoming. They won their first 6, and then they ran into Notre Dame. Dallas threw for better than 300 yards, but they lost 41-27. Worst game of the year without doubt. The loss in Fort Worth to TCU. They bounced back, beat Army for the Commander-in-Chief's trophy. The almost traditional loss to BYU. Close win over Utah, and then they tie at Hawaii, which not many folks can say they did when they went to Honolulu and didn't come away with a loss.
I think the biggest disappointment had to be the TCU game. They expected to, they thought they had a chance to beat Notre Dame, but Notre Dame has an outstanding team. They fully expected to beat TCU, and TCU completely handled them. I think they held Dallas to 30 yards that day or something. It was just a remarkable day by TCU.
With the very run back, they finished 8-3-1, 5-1-1 in the West.
Oh, did you see what happened there? The clock was right down to about the 2 seconds. Dallas had to call another timeout. He turned to the official, wanted the noise timeout. The official told him, said play ball, and he had to call a timeout.
This the first taken by Air Force. And they have to talk about a 3rd and 16. Again at halftime, the 21-band salute to American patriotism, preceded by the Ole Miss Rebel Marching Band, the Air Force Drum and Bugle Corps. And I guess along with the Orange Bowl, as good a spectacular as anybody puts on during the bowl season.
Well, if you like bands, you like excitement, you like fireworks, you like enthusiasm, you're going to see a halftime show that is unbelievable. I like it. I actually like it. Now, this is going to sound crazy, but I like it better than the Orange Bowl. I think it's got that much excitement to it. It's beautiful. I think the tie to the military academies at the Liberty Bowl, Bud Dudley and his crew have taken here in their choice to make the alignment with the military academies is just fantastic.
As they retape John Darnell, the Rebels may get it back one more time here before halftime. And again, the Falcons talk about 3rd and 16 from their own 8-yard line.
Watch the noise factor again.
To the 12, that is it. He was tripped up by Sean Cobb. They had all his alleys covered. So another timeout, and this time Ole Miss earns its final timeout with 1:41. They will get it back. We'll have to see if we see Darnell.
Well, they'll get great field position. That's what they want to do. That's what you do when you've got the opportunity to hold that unit down there and you run 2 or 3 good defensive plays. You immediately call timeout, because if you get the ball, you're going to have a chance to fair catch it anyway. They should get the ball within the 50-yard line and be in position for at least a field goal. With 1:41, we've seen them score from a lot farther out than 40 yards.
And a lot quicker than 1:41. Well, that 38 on the shoulder pad, of course, a tribute to Chucky Mullins. That is the address if you'd like to send in a contribution. University of Mississippi at Oxford, the zip 38677. They're about 60% to their goal of $1 million for an endowment to bring him the care he is going to require the rest of his life. This is the first time that he has been out of his hospital room here in Memphis. Came to the game and is watching this 21-9 Ole Miss advantage. Eric Olson, 3 yards deep in his end zone. And a nice one. Coleman from the 42.
Picket fence. It started back when football started. You run that receiving team, you run them down that sideline, and you let that receiver pick up those blocks. And boy, did he ever pick up about 3 outstanding blocks.
First touchdown return
those white shirts. There's a good block. There's a good block. There's a good block. And you can see them down the sideline. That's exactly what you want to do. You run them. As soon as that ball is punted, they circle back, and they just pick it up. It looks just like the old picket fence. Again, just 3 outstanding blocks here. High kick, gave him time to get underneath it. And here's where he picks up those blocks. There, and there's another one right in here. Oh, just before that, but just a great run by Coleman.
He is gone. Jason Jones a little late. 4.42 speed in the 40-yard dash. And throw in the adrenaline factor, maybe 4.3 today. So the Rebels again strike quickly. 20 seconds in this latest score. 28-9. Air Force will get it back as soon as Max Smith kicks it away. And now, if you're DeBerry, do you totally have to throw away your game plan?
Absolutely not. I think that with the ability that Dallas has, I think, first of all, Billy Brewer in his locker room, Coach Billy Brewer of Mississippi is going to be telling him, listen, it's nothing. We play like it's a brand new ball game, because he knows the strike force of this Air Force team. And if you're Air Force, you've got to go with what has gotten you to this point. And that is the skill and ability of Dallas. So we will see a lot more of D. Dallas.
That one out of bounds, fumbled away by Ron Gray at the 6-yard line. Air Force takes over, so it is all starting to fall apart now. DeBerry really upset late in the season. They lost the Brigham Young game, and there was a flag down here, mainly because of 2 long kickoff returns for touchdowns. Now they're burned by the punt return by Coleman at 58 yards.
And that's a dead ball foul, personal foul, face mask, and it is against Mississippi, so it will give them at least a semblance of decent field position.
Billy Brewer almost had him pinned back. DeBerry with a little more room for Dallas to operate. 1:10 in the second quarter. And remember, last time they were on the field, DeBerry, as I've said, we've seen him all game after Dallas threw that interception. Last time they had any field position to work with, they threw it away on the Godwin pick. And then deep in their own end, bothered by the crowd. And Duke coming back within 14 with a late touchdown at halftime in Birmingham. To the air, incomplete, intended for Steve Sand. And Dallas is just not there as far as his passing game is concerned right now.
Well, one of the things that this Air Force team needed to do coming into this game is they needed everybody to play at what the old coach's cliche is, 100%. Because when you lack size and you've got just good talent, you've got to play at 100%. Everybody's got to play. That's why they've been successful, because they've had all their players playing at 100% all the time. They have not had a bad day. So far, Dallas is having a bad day so far in this first half.
Chris Howard in motion as they break the bone on 2nd and 10. Goes the other way. Greg Johnson dragging Rebels for a first down up near the 40. 16 yards, and we're under a minute before halftime.
And it would really be a boost to this Air Force team if they were able to get at least a field goal. They've got that ability. They've got a kicker that's got a good leg.
Dallas without a huddle. Slings it sidearm to Howard. And he stops the clock out of bounds at the 42. Chris Howard, the junior from Plano, Texas, caught only 2 balls during the regular season. Takes the grab here with that much time remaining and that much of a comeback facing Air Force in the second half.
Well, they're a field goal kicker for the fans out there. He's kicked a 47-yarder this year. That's his longest. He's 5 of 5 from 40 to 49 yards. And one problem he's going to have is, though, he's going to have a little bit of a wind in his face.
If they get near the 30, they're in good shape. Ron Gray with the cutback. Maybe the 45-yard line. Tony Bennett, 89, made the tackle. A great linebacker, forced to play in a down position because of the midseason injuries. They moved him to the left end spot, but he rates very highly among the NFL scouts as a linebacker. And Lester gave chase, brought down Dallas. 2 yards shy of what he needed. Victor Lester, the right defensive end.
And see, they can't stop the clock because they utilized those timeouts down there when they had that problem trying to hear the plays. So they are not going to have a chance to call timeout.
Well, they had one
That's
remaining.
their last one. Yes, I should say that's their last one. But they were trying to save that in case they completed the long play to bring in their field goal team.
But with 12 seconds to go, Hail Mary time, Air Force having one timeout remaining.
This is when you go into the 1-10 defense. One guy up in a line and 10 guys deep.
Ladies and gentlemen, we would like you to keep your flags handy.
Dallas has more of an arm, you'd expect, than what a 5'8" guy should have, really.
Oh, he's a very strong person. They say he bench presses twice his weight. He's 155. He bench presses over 320. So.
And he bulked all the way up to 158, I understand.
Yeah, they said that was so he didn't have to wear a T-shirt in the training room.
Michael D. Dallas. The reason he goes by D, his father had a future football career in mind for him.
Yeah, his father, of course, was a high school football coach back in Royston. And he just decided that he wanted to have a name that his son would be able to be easy in the paper. So he just said, son, you're going to have this name. Unfortunately, his father died when he was only 4 years old. But, boy, if he had lived, he sure would have seen a real hero in D. Dallas.
Did the headline writers across the country a big favor. Well, they're going to punt it away. Olson standing at his 31. And Jeff Carter is the deep man, not Coleman this time. Almost blocked by Bennett. And Carter lets it go down at the 12. 2 seconds still remaining. So one snap, and then we are to halftime. 28-9, Ole Miss over Air Force. The big plays have been the story, and a huge first half by Randy Baldwin, the Ole Miss halfback. Long runs, a 41-yarder among his efforts, and a couple of touchdowns. And Russ Shows will be the quarterback for the final snap of the first half. The freshman from Senatobia, Mississippi. And we'll see if they have any Hail Marys in mind. Absolutely not, but another big chunk for Randy Baldwin, and an appropriate end to the first half of the 31st Liberty Bowl in Memphis. They have got to figure a way to stop him in the second half. He's the main reason that the Rebels have a 28-9 advantage over the Air Force Falcons at halftime. The 1989 Liberty Bowl is brought to you by Mazda. It just feels right. By First Brands Corporation, makers of Prestone Advanced Formula Antifreeze. By Federal Express, the best way to ship it over there. And by Anheuser-Busch. Know when to say when. A reminder from your friends at Anheuser-Busch. A lot of offense, most of it from the Rebels, as they lead at 28-9 here at halftime. Any surprises besides the margin?
I think two big surprises. Of course, you've got the running that they've been able to run the ball, but Darnell, 11 of 19, 166 yards. He has just made great play selections in this first half.
And Baldwin, 121 yards, his first 100-yard rushing day this year. Halftime coming up. In Memphis, Dave Barnett, Dave Rowe at the 31st Annual Liberty Bowl. It is the Rebels by 19, 28-9 here at halftime. And let's go down to the field. Let's enjoy the University of Mississippi Rebel Marching Band. halftime of the Liberty Bowl. Ole Miss 28, Air Force 9. We're going to be right back in Memphis after this message from the University of Mississippi. Still to come, the Air Force Drum and Bugle Corps, and then the 21-band salute to American patriotism here at halftime of the Liberty Bowl. And we'll be right back after these words from your local station. This is the Raycom Sports and Entertainment Network. Mississippi 28, Air Force 9 at halftime of the Liberty Bowl in Memphis, Tennessee. Liberty Bowl Memorial Stadium, almost packed to the rafters here, at least 60,000 expected. Mainly Mississippi fans. We've just seen their band dedicate a halftime show to a Rebelette who passed away on Christmas Day. 18-year-old Julie Abraham, a freshman from Vicksburg. Cardiac failure caused her death at a very early age. Right now on the field, the Air Force Marching Drum and Bugle Corps. Still to come, and we'll be right back with the 31st Liberty Bowl halftime pageant after this message from the United States Air Force Academy. Ole Miss 28, Air Force 9 at halftime. This is where it really gets interesting. On the field, the masked bands, the 21-band salute to American patriotism here in Memphis at the 31st Liberty Bowl.
A 21-band salute to American patriotism. Ensign dance teams from across the USA pay tribute to a great nation and its people. We begin with a tribute to some of the American heroes, the men and women who serve in the Air Force, the Army, the Navy, and the Marines. These brave patriots dedicate their lives to keeping America free, and many have paid for that dedication with their lives. Let's pause for a moment and remember all those courageous men and women who have died to keep us free. And now, sit back and enjoy the familiar theme songs that represent each of our armed services. fire symbol represents our armed services' courage and determination to protect our freedom than the American flag. Old Glory flies high as a symbol of our nation's patriotism. As the fight for democracy sweeps over the world, the American flag strengthens our commitment to a free and peaceful nation. The American flag has several important meanings to its design and colors. The 13 stripes represent the 13 original colonies. The 50 stars represent the 50 states. The color red stands for hardiness and courage, white for purity and innocence, and blue for vigilance, perseverance, and justice. America's national march was written for the flag by a true patriot, John Philip Sousa, who served in 3 of the 4 armed services. Join us now as we salute the flag with the Bronson Brothers. The Bronson Brothers will be performing the Stars and Stripes Forever. As halftime for the 1989 Liberty Bowl draws to a close, let us pay a final tribute to our beloved country, a nation that opens its borders to freedom-loving people from around the world and welcomes them with the torch of liberty. A nation whose precious freedom is safeguarded by the brave men and women in our armed services, and a nation that marches confidently into the 90s under a banner of freedom and peace, the United States flag. The Liberty Bowl is proud to present hundreds of young adults from across America. Miss Liberty Bowl, Jenna Burrows, the Brunson Brothers, and our special guest, the Miracles from the Vador Memorial Center for the Mentally Retarded, as they perform their tribute to America, America the Beautiful.
show. It's just amazing.
It really doesn't matter what type game you have. It can be close, it can be a blowout, and that's worth looking forward to every year. About 3,500 folks on the field. Months and months of preparation go into it, and it's just the type show that you enjoy sitting back and watching. Doesn't matter how long it goes on.
It certainly is true. Well, the second half of football, but let's talk about the first half first.
28-9 Ole Miss. Big surprise in that they lead by 19, and they got underway with the touchdown pass from Darnell to Green.
And this was interesting because Darnell just laid the ball up the second time. He had just thrown an incompletion. Now this is the field goal that Air Force came back to answer with. This made it 7-3. Now Baldwin takes the ball here on a short yardage play and just comes outside. Everybody thinking inside, and Baldwin goes for a score.
One of his 2 in the half, 121 yards for him, and then Dowis with the only Air Force touchdown.
And this was just a great individual run by D. Dowis. This kept it close. Again, now this comes Baldwin. This is really the clincher here. Breaking outside and going down the sideline. We showed him step out of bounds a little bit, but the score still counted. And now here's another heartbreaker here if you're an Air Force fan. And this was a great punt return. Just a great one.
Pat Coleman taking it 58 yards. And so the big play is how Ole Miss has built this huge advantage. And again, for a wishbone team, Air Force really up against it in the second half.
Well, it's going to be tough for them to come back, but they are used to coming back. They score a lot of points. They can come back. They need to go back to the basics that they've done so well, and that is exploit D. Dallas's ability, come back, use the fullback a lot. They can come back in this game and be competitive and certainly have a chance to win.
Okay, we will see. And we'll be right back after these words from your local station. This is the Raycom Sports and Entertainment Network.